Peter was coming home from work when he stopped at the grocery store to pick up some groceries so he could prepare dinner. He worked on a construction site in the downtown area. Once the project was completed, he planned to move to another state. By the way, how's your day, folks? Do you like the Sky mod for BeamNG Drive? Peter lived in a mobile home on the side of the road. He was admiring the beautiful sunshine when suddenly, a semi-truck crashed into his home. The impact severely damaged the mobile house and threw Peter to the ground. Emergency units quickly arrived at the scene after his neighbor called for help. Due to extensive damage, Peter's home had to be demolished. He was transported to the hospital with a broken leg and a head injury. After 2 days, he was released. A stock car race was taking place at Hirochi Raceway. The weather was perfect, and racers were fiercely competing for positions. Let me know in the comments if you want more racing stories. While 2 racers were battling for first place, they suddenly spotted a crashed car stalled in the middle of the track, right behind a narrow section. They quickly swerved to avoid it, but the others weren't fast enough, leading to a massive pileup. Ambulances rushed to the scene. Fortunately, most drivers escaped unharmed. However, driver number 14, who crashed at almost full speed into the stalled vehicle, had to be rescued. He was unable to move due to the pain. This entire accident was a major failure by the track marshals, who neglected to signal a yellow flag. Jean was coming home from work after a stressful day. Her boss had yelled at her and overloaded her with an unrealistic workload. Frustrated, she vented to her husband, sending voice messages and texts while driving. As she was texting her husband to ask him to prepare dinner, she ran a red light, hitting a cyclist who was crossing the road. Police and emergency services responded immediately, but tragically, the cyclist did not survive. Jean was arrested and taken to prison. Have you ever experienced an accident caused by a texting driver? Let me know in the comments. I read all of them. Thomas was out riding his bike for fun, cruising around his neighborhood in Texas. Meanwhile, a family was preparing to leave for a weekend trip. As Thomas approached an intersection, he noticed an SUV pulled over on the side of the road. He stopped behind them and asked what was wrong. They explained that they had run out of gas. Without hesitation, Thomas decided to help and went to buy some fuel for them. Just as he turned around, he noticed 3 sleek muscle cars approaching, so he waited for them to pass before rolling into the intersection. Unfortunately, he failed to see an oncoming SUV and was T-boned. The vehicle belonged to the family that had just left for their trip. Bystanders immediately called emergency services, who arrived quickly. Thomas suffered multiple fractures and had to undergo surgery. The family in the SUV was shaken but unharmed. Poor Thomas, he just wanted to help, but his distraction nearly cost him his life. Do you have a biker in your family? Remind them to be careful on the road.